The book that I read was called The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Night. Um, I really enjoyed this book. It was an excellent insight into the thinking of a 15-year-old boy with autism or in the autism spectrum. But the author transported the reader into the mind of the narrator, which led to understanding his logic, and the story was really interesting, and the story was captivating. The author chose an excellent narrator for the story. The narrator often would like digress from telling a story, actually writing the book, into just his thoughts about whatever's going on or whatever random thing he would think about, which was either thinking about math or science or some memory he had. But every time he digressed, it led to understanding more of how he viewed the world, more of how his logic went, and how his thought processes went. For me, it just flowed. He was a really intelligent narrator. I feel like I might have gotten a little bit of insight into how students with disabilities may think and may view the world. He was an exceptional person. That he was really intelligent, very smart, like super smart with anything with math and science, and very logical. And I don't know if every student with a disability that I will encounter in my teaching career will be so logical with the way that they deal with the world around them. Um, so for him, that was definitely a benefit. The way the author wrote the story, I felt like I was just right there with him. Every time he was counting cars on the ride to school, or when he was hiding in the garden on the trip to London, which was crazy. But life must have been really difficult. It's difficult enough for a teenager, and you throw on autism with that, plus having the crazy home life that he had. I think I'm going to take away most from this book is the people that helped Christopher the most. Now, it was his teacher at school. She's the one that he keeps referring to the whole time throughout the book, about how, like, what advice she gave him to write and what advice she would give him to include certain things into the book or not. And she's the one that helped make sure that he could take his A-level math course or math test. And he trusted his mother, even though he knew that she didn't have as much patience with him as his teacher at school did. But it was interesting because those people are like key factors in that student's life. And I believe a student with a disability, their time at school should be like a safe place, and they should have those contacts at school that they're not going to get in the rest of their life, and they're not going to get in other different parts. So for me, the biggest thing was like to be that person in their life, and to reach out and open up and take the time just to understand the way that they view the world and understand what their rules might be. And like for Christopher, it was no touching, not even like a hug like from his mom or dad, and nothing brown or yellow. And he'd have his good days if he saw like 6 red cars in a row. He'd have his bad days if he saw 6 yellow cars in a row. And you have to understand these things for each student to understand why they're coming to school today and not talking to anybody. And maybe just give them some space instead of like constantly hounding them, trying to see what's wrong and maybe even punishing them, which would be horrible if you understood the way he was thinking and then punish him for going with his own logic. But I'm glad I chose this book. I liked it a lot.